Welcome to another awesome edition of Bishop's Breakdown. Episode 37. We're going to talk Raw. We're going to talk SmackDown. We're going to tell you who's in the finals for the World Cup. And we're going to talk about that crazy game the other night, All-Star, Major League Baseball, AL, NL, who won, how they won, what I thought of the game, what I thought of the home run derby, that and more after the break. So, like we always do it, let's break it down. Hey everyone, it's Bishop. I got something special for you today. On the next bonus episode, I'm breaking down the top 4 teams in college basketball, giving you my insider's take and predictions you won't hear anywhere else. Plus, I'll dive into Vince Russo and John Cena's AEW talk and why he's crazy. No fluff, just straight analysis. This episode is exclusive to my Patreon supporters. For just a few bucks a month, you got bonus episodes like this, exclusive merch, and even a chance to ask me questions directly on a live Q&A session. So if you want in, join the crew now. The link will be in the description, and I'd love to have you on board and make sure you never miss the inside scoop. So break that down. Welcome back. So let's get right to it. SmackDown, July 10th. Cody Rhodes interrupt CM Punk victory celebration because he just became the world heavyweight champion by taking down the last real good guy, Sami Zayn, who was mysteriously absent from the show. Does that mean he's not going to be on SummerSlam? I mean, there's still time. There's still weeks and weeks until SummerSlam. But you would think he would be here to do something, say something, confront somebody, do something. But he wasn't even on the show. And Cody Rhodes comes out and, yeah, we're going to get a Cody versus CM Punk for the WWE Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam. Probably night 1 main event. I'll give you my thoughts on who I think is going to open the show, end the show on night 1 and night 2 later on after we talk Raw. But SmackDown is just still dragging. It's missing something. I mean, you got great talent on there. You got Trick Williams doing all the things. Trick Williams is that guy. He's definitely destined to be a world heavyweight champion. Not saying that it's going to be the undisputed or the world heavyweight. It doesn't really matter at this point. He has to challenge for one of them in the next 8-10 months. Because if not, what are we doing? Because then you're going to just neuter him just like y'all neutered Braun Breaker. So let's just get to Raw. Division went from the most dominant to be dominant faction in all of WWE. Not just Raw, but Raw and SmackDown, NXT. There was no group that was on paper destined to be dominant. Injuries killed all that. Booking killed all that. With the Seth Rollins thing, Braun Breaker, he was destined to be a main event at WrestleMania, like now. World Heavyweight Champion, yes. I don't see what happened. After that match with CM Punk, his career went from all the way down to the bottom. And now he's just a tag team champion with Logan Paul because Bronson Reed is out with an injury. Austin Theory's in a love triangle with Maxine Dupree and Otis and the American Alphas. And what are we doing? Like, get Braun Breaker the heck away from the Vision. start over and just let him do his thing, destroy people, dominate people, and give him titles. Not just shots anymore. He needs to win a World Heavyweight Championship by the end of this year. Or something. Do something with this man, because in the end of the day, if you don't do anything with him now, then you're just wasting my time, your time, everybody's time, and Braun Breakers are just going to whittle away to nothing. And Raw also had the usual contract signing, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. And Roman Reigns was speaking facts through his entire promo when Seth Rollins did his little shtick. I'm the visionary. I'm the revolution. Whatever. Hot garbage. But Roman Reigns looked at him and said, you will always be the number 2. You always want to be me, but you can never be me. You were number 2. And he called out Triple H and said, you that's your daddy. But in all words, that's your dude, and you still number 2 to me. And he said, even if you beat me, no matter what happens, I will still be the number 1. But Seth Rollins got his come-ups and did it right back to him and put him through a table. And I'm just saying, usually when things like this happen, and it seems like the championship is going to change hands, he going to retain. Rumor has it Roman Reigns is retaining and holding that title until the Saudi WrestleMania next year. That's a long time. My question is, if that is, in fact, what you're going to do with Roman Reigns and let him hold that title for over a year, what are you going to do between now and WrestleMania? Because there's only so many people you can feed to him that are at that status, because you haven't built up too many people to, when you look at him on paper, look at him in the ring, look at him when they're doing promos, matches, even just coming out, are at that level where you're like, that guy right there, I see him and I think without a shadow of a doubt, he will dethrone Roman Reigns and beat him. Even if he doesn't, the ideal that he will needs to be there, because if not, then don't even have him defend the title until WrestleMania. Why waste everyone's time feeding him jabronis and feeding him big name talent just to lose in the end of the day? You got to build up talent and make the crowd, make the audience believe that this guy has a chance to dethrone the OTC. Without that thought in the audience minds, then all of a sudden it's just, what are we doing? And why are we doing this? Let's talk about Saturday night's main event, which is on Saturday. You got Danhausen in a street fight against J.D. McDonough. Danhausen going to somehow win this match. There's going to be a lot of cursing. There's going to be a lot of pyros. There's going to be interference. There's going to be some craziness. Maybe this is a way of, I don't know. I mean, I know Brunson's going to be there, but he's hurt. He had surgery. He was hurt during the finals, so he has surgery, so he can't get physical. He's going to meet one-on-one in the face, because he got invited to the ring by the OTC himself. Figure Seth Rollins is going to factor into this segment somehow, some way. And then the rest of the matches are whatever. I know, everyone knows Saturday night's main event. Granted, it's in Madison Square Garden, but it's just a glorified house show that happens to be televised. They clearly don't care. And they didn't stack this show. So it is what it is, and I'll give you a prediction in a couple days when I get all the matches together and get some more thoughts. But for right now, I'm too frustrated to even think about what could happen at a house show, because either they're going to be paid by numbers, which usually is, or they're going to throw some curveballs, which they never do. So why would I assume this is differently? But let's be devil's advocate and throw out some curveballs left and right. But keep it tuned to Bishop's Breakdown on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the places you get your podcasts. And we going to be back after the break to talk some World Cup, some Major League Baseball All-Star, home run derbies, anything else that pops in my brain after this little break, because we got to pay some bills and keep these lights on. So, after the break, I'll see you later. This episode is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink mix built for gamers, creators, and grinders like us. No jitters, no crash, no artificial dyes, just smooth, long-lasting focus whenever I'm breaking down WWE storylines, debating NBA, or just recording late at night. It's zero sugars, packed with vitamins and nutrients, and it actually keeps you locked in without the shaky feeling. Head to w.gg and use code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout and save 10%. So level up your energy and let's get back to the breakdown. And thanks for supporting the show. Man, that guy's real smart. But don't forget to check out my use my code for that them energy drinks, because I drink it and you should too. So let's talk. Finally, after all this long tournament, the World Cup finals is set. We got Spain, who defeated handedly France, dominated them from the get-go, from that questionable. I know the rules of football. I know it's in their right, and they made the right call. But they need to figure out the optics of the whole situation. My man's on France was looking in the air because the ball was up in the air. And he was trying to kick it because he can't grab it because you can't use your hands. And he was going to kick the ball. And my man's from Spain was like, let me get hit. And he ran up to him knowing that he didn't see him, and boom. In the box, kicked, penalty. Penalty shot, PK. And with that, the scoring started for Spain. And France never recovered from that. After that penalty, the team was defeated, and you've seen it. They were outplayed. They looked tired. They looked lethargic. They couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. And that's how Mbappe's World Cup ended. I know they got, third place game on Saturday against the loser of the next game, but they were on a cusp of going back to the finals and taking on the team that they didn't defeat, but they almost defeated, and it only came down to penalty kicks. So they had a good shot, but they just couldn't find the other side of the net. They couldn't find shots. They couldn't find on targets, opportunities. Their defense was not stellar. Their offense was non-existent. That game was terrible for the French team. But Spain, I give them all the credit. They did what they had to do. They scored goals. They closed out game and didn't let the pedal up like the next team did. Because Argentina defeated England. And England had the game within hand. They were up 1-0. But for them, they thought that's all they needed. And they pulled back. And they just kind of trying to wheel the time down so they would just win. It's like holding on to a 1-point lead in an NBA game. Sooner or later, if you pull the brakes off and not go for the kill shot, the opponent is going to catch up. And that's what happened. Messi putting an assist, doing what he does best, being the GOAT, didn't score a goal, didn't have any shots on goal, but he did what it took to be part of every scoring opportunity to make sure that his team was moving on to defend their World Cup championship. And that's what they did, and they won the game 2-1. I'm just saying, England, you should look in the mirror and know that you had this game within hand, but you gave it up by pulling back, by not going for the jugular, not doing the kill shot, because 2 or 3 goals could have sealed it, and then you could coast. But a 1-goal lead with that team, with Messi, Alvarez, like that squad is battle tested. Clearly, they're the reigning, defending World Cup champions. They're not just some dude off the street. They're not some street team, AAU rec team. So, I mean, you're going to face France in a third place game. So hopefully you realize that you can't settle for 1-goal leads. You have to keep going and keep going till the whistle is blown. Just like in every other team sport, the game is not over until the game is over. But I'm like I've said in the past, I'm really enjoying the World Cup, and because of my excitement and my joy, I might cover a few big games in the Premier League or MLS. But we'll see what the audience likes, and we'll see how the games play out. Because if it's not exciting, if it's not something that I can watch regularly, then we have to move on and cover stuff that's more beneficial. But let's talk Major League Baseball. Yeah, Major League Baseball had the All-Star Game this weekend and the Home Run Derby. Home Run Derby was exciting, like always. It is my favorite event that out of all the All-Star games, NBA, with the 3-point, slam dunk, skills challenge. And you got the skills challenge in NHL. And you got whatever Pro Bowl weekend shenanigans that the NFL pulls. But the Home Run Derby is always exciting. No matter who's in it, no names, great names, superstars, dark horses. They're all professional baseball players with power, and they show it on the grandest stage. But let's talk more specifically the actual All-Star Game. I know the biggest stars weren't available for these games. So we had no Shohei Ohtani, hurt. No Aaron Judge, hurt. But the AL pitching is chef's kiss. Remarkable from top to bottom. They put in work. And they dominated the NL 4-0. First shutout since 2013. That's a long time. Over 10 years since an All-Star game ended at a shutout. And the AL showed that their pitching staff is remarkable. I don't know how that's going to translate for specific teams when they get to the World Series. Because the past few years have shown the NL is the champions. And the AL is just, they get there, obviously, because It's AL versus NL in the World Series, but they haven't found a way to stop, the NL, namely the LA Dodgers. So maybe the game would have been different if Ohtani was part of the roster. Who knows? They're all all-stars for a reason. They're all superstars for a reason. They all play good this year. So it's no surprise, but it's a surprise when you see a shutout like that. You got the best of the best in the NL and the best of the best in the AL. And the NL just couldn't get no offense going. Not at all. Not one run, nothing. And the AL just kept putting in pitchers and using their bullpen like it's Game 7 of the World Series, and methodically took down the NL and showed them that they're on top right now. The AL showed that maybe this is the year that American League team will win the World Series. My pick is still the LA Dodgers. It's LA Dodgers and the field as of right now, because they're going to get all their people back. Ohtani's going to be healthy by October. All their players are going to be close to or 100% by October. And that's when the real fun begins. But maybe the Tigers will sneak in. Maybe. That'd be nice. But maybe it'll be another rematch. Dodgers-Yankees. But like I said, Ohtani is a unicorn. He's a GOAT. Probably the greatest baseball player I've ever seen in my life. He does it all. And he does it like it's nothing. Like, you've seen players doing extraordinary things, and you could look on their face and you could tell that they're putting all their whatever. But he just does it nonchalant, like home run, 10 strikeouts. He did do 50 and 50 in one season. So he's not he's a superstar, and he will be a superstar until the day he decides that he don't want to play baseball anymore. First ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But that's our episode for this week. Check all my things, all my Facebooks, and hit the bell on YouTube for notifications. Don't forget to follow if you haven't. If you have, thank you very much for the support. I need all the likes. I need all the subscribers to keep doing what I can do and give you more and more and more breakdown. Because without your support, there is no breakdown. I'm just some dude talking to myself. So I appreciate every single person that takes the time out of their day to comment, to like, to subscribe, do all the things to show that you appreciate my time, my effort that I put in every single week to bring you the best news in wrestling, in baseball, in soccer, in football, in basketball, anything that has to do with a sport, UFC, all the things. But speaking of that, before we go off to the sunset, let's talk Conor McGregor. What's your opinion on the Conor McGregor incident? There's videos, could be made, could be fake, could be real, but he sure looked like he was limping before he went into the cage. And then he gets in the cage and do things that I've never seen Conor McGregor do in a UFC octagon. And then landed on said leg and was done. Over. Back to the operating table for another knee surgery. Seems kind of convenient. He goes into the octagon, gets hurt, still get his payday, but he gone. Just saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm all about, what does my eyeball see? My eyeball see treachery. See some shenanigans going down. Hopefully, in the next few months, we're going to find out what really happened. But probably not. But what do you think? Sound off in the comments and let me know if you think Conor McGregor was hurt before he jumped in the octagon and just went into the match and basically took a dive because he knew he was already hurt just to get a payday. Or did he actually think that he was going to think outside the box, do something crazy, get him off guard, and win the fight early and fast because it's been so long since he's had a last fight? Is that a possibility? So let me know. Let your host Bishop know what you think and why do you think the McGregor situation went down. But that's all we got for this week. I'm your host Bishop. This is the breakdown. So like a great man once said, deuces, ooses. And I'm out. See you next week. Peace.